Welcome to the Life Lens channel, and I'm bringing you the latest on insulin resistance. This isn't just another health buzzword, it's at the root of many chronic diseases we see today. We've got a problem. More and more people are struggling with their weight, energy levels, and overall health because their bodies are stuck in a state of resistance. But here's the good news. You don't have to live this way. In this video, we're diving deep into the science of insulin resistance, exposing the culprits behind it, and giving you practical, actionable steps to reverse it naturally. We're talking lasting changes, not quick fixes. Let's get started. So, what exactly is insulin resistance? In a nutshell, it's like your cells are wearing earplugs, and they can't hear insulin knocking. Insulin is like a delivery guy, trying to deliver glucose, your body's primary energy source, to your cells. When you become insulin resistant, your cells stop responding properly to insulin's signal. They become resistant to its message. Now your pancreas, which produces insulin, has to work overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to get that glucose delivered. Think of it like this. Imagine a friend who doesn't listen very well. You have to keep repeating yourself, louder and louder each time, just to get your message across. That's what's happening inside your body with insulin resistance. This constant overload of insulin leads to a whole cascade of problems, including weight gain, fatigue, brain fog, and eventually serious conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's. But here's the key takeaway. It's not necessarily high blood sugar that starts this whole mess, it's high insulin. You can have elevated insulin for years, even decades, before your blood sugar levels become a problem. That's why it's crucial to address insulin resistance early on. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, sugar. And I'm not just talking about the white stuff you put in your coffee. I'm talking about all forms of sugar, especially the added sugars lurking in processed foods and drinks. Sugar is like rocket fuel for your insulin levels. When you consume sugar, especially in its refined forms, it gets absorbed into your bloodstream very quickly. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar, which in turn forces your pancreas to release a surge of insulin to deal with it. Over time, these constant sugar bombs and insulin surges wreak havoc on your body. Your cells become less and less responsive to insulin, leading to, you guessed it, insulin resistance. Think of it like this. Imagine constantly hitting the gas pedal and then slamming on the brakes. That's what you're doing to your body with every sugary drink, candy bar, or processed snack. Eventually, something's gotta give. Now let's zoom in on a particularly sneaky culprit, fructose. Fructose is the sweet half of table sugar, sucrose, and the main sugar found in high fructose corn syrup, a ubiquitous ingredient in processed foods and drinks. Here's the problem with fructose. Unlike glucose, which can be used by virtually every cell in your body, fructose can only be metabolized by your liver. And when you overload your liver with fructose, it's like sending it through a constant cycle of happy hour, without the fun part. Your liver treats fructose much like it treats alcohol. It can lead to fatty liver disease, inflammation, and a whole host of metabolic disturbances. And guess what? A fatty, sluggish liver is a major driver of insulin resistance. So, even if fructose doesn't directly spike your blood sugar as much as glucose, it's still wreaking havoc behind the scenes, setting the stage for insulin resistance and a whole host of health problems down the line. Let's talk more about that fatty liver we just mentioned. It's not something you can always see or feel, but it's a silent epidemic affecting millions. When you consume too much fructose, along with refined carbs and unhealthy fats, your liver gets overwhelmed. It can't keep up with the demand to process all that excess fuel, so it starts converting it into fat, specifically a type of fat called triglycerides. These triglycerides start accumulating in your liver, leading to a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. Now here's the kicker: liver fat isn't just an aesthetic concern, it's a metabolic time bomb. Think of your liver as the control center for your metabolism. When it's bogged down with fat, it can't do its job properly. This includes regulating blood sugar, producing hormones, and filtering toxins. All of these functions get disrupted, leading to, you guessed it, insulin resistance. You've probably heard the saying, calories in, calories out. While it's true that calorie balance plays a role in weight management, it's a gross oversimplification of a complex process. Here's the thing. Not all calories are created equal. A calorie from a can of soda is not going to have the same metabolic effect as a calorie from a handful of almonds. Why? Because different foods affect your hormones, especially insulin, in vastly different ways. Remember, insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store fat. When you consume foods that spike insulin like refined carbs, sugary drinks, and even some starchy vegetables, you're essentially telling your body to hold on to fat. On the other hand, when you consume foods that have a minimal impact on insulin, like healthy fats, protein, and fiber-rich vegetables, you're creating an environment that allows your body to burn fat for fuel. So instead of getting bogged down in calorie counting, focus on the quality of your calories. Choose foods that keep your insulin levels stable and promote a healthy metabolism. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal for reversing insulin resistance: fasting. And no, I'm not talking about starving yourself. I'm talking about intermittent fasting, a strategic approach to eating that involves cycling between periods of eating and fasting. Fasting isn't about deprivation. It's about giving your body a break from the constant influx of food, and therefore, the constant demand for insulin. When you're not eating, your insulin levels naturally decline. This allows your cells to become more sensitive to insulin again, like hitting the reset button on your metabolism. Think of it like this. Imagine your digestive system is like a conveyor belt that's constantly running. Fasting is like giving that conveyor belt a much-needed rest, so it can run more efficiently when it's turned back on. There are various ways to practice intermittent fasting, but one of the most popular and sustainable methods is the 16-8 method, where you fast for 16 hours each day and consume all your calories within an 8-hour eating window. The role of mitochondria in insulin resistance. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the powerhouses of your cells, mitochondria. Mitochondria are like tiny energy factories that reside inside almost every cell in your body. Their job is to convert the food you eat into usable energy, a process known as cellular respiration. When your mitochondria are functioning optimally, you feel energized, your metabolism hums along smoothly, and your cells are more sensitive to insulin. However, a diet high in sugar, processed foods, and unhealthy fats can damage your mitochondria over time. These dietary insults, combined with chronic stress and lack of exercise, can lead to mitochondrial dysfunction, a state where your mitochondria aren't producing energy as efficiently as they should be. This mitochondrial dysfunction is a major contributor to insulin resistance. When your cells aren't producing energy efficiently, they become less responsive to insulin signals, leading to a buildup of glucose in your bloodstream. What to eat to improve insulin sensitivity? So, we've talked about what to avoid, but what should you be eating to improve your insulin sensitivity? The good news is that a diet that supports healthy insulin levels is also a diet that promotes overall health and well-being. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods that are as close to their natural state as possible. Think of it this way. If it comes in a box with a long list of ingredients you can't pronounce, it's probably not doing your insulin levels any favors. Prioritize protein at every meal. Protein helps stabilize blood sugar levels and promote satiety, keeping you feeling fuller for longer. Good sources of protein include grass-fed meats, pasture-raised poultry, wild-caught fish, eggs, and bone broth. Don't be afraid of healthy fats. Fats are essential for hormone production, cell function, and satiety. Incorporate sources like avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish into your diet. Lifestyle fixes that work. Now, let's talk about lifestyle factors that can make a big difference in your insulin sensitivity. And the best part is, these are things you have control over every single day. Exercise, especially resistance training, is like medicine for your metabolism. When you engage in physical activity, you're essentially training your muscles to become more efficient at using glucose for fuel. This means your body doesn't have to pump out as much insulin to get the job done. Prioritize sleep. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more of the stress hormone cortisol, which can interfere with insulin sensitivity. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Manage stress. Chronic stress keeps your cortisol levels elevated, which, as we just discussed, can wreak havoc on your insulin sensitivity. Find healthy ways to manage stress, such as meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, or deep breathing exercises. Final word. You can reverse it. Here's the bottom line. Insulin resistance isn't a life sentence, it's a reversible condition, and you have the power to take control of your metabolic health. By making simple, sustainable changes to your diet and lifestyle, you can improve your insulin sensitivity, lose weight, boost your energy levels, and reduce your risk of chronic disease. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Start by incorporating 1 or 2 changes at a time, and gradually build from there. Focus on nourishing your body with real whole foods, moving your body regularly, prioritizing sleep, and managing stress. These are the pillars of a healthy metabolism and a vibrant life. Outro, thanks for watching. So there you have it, the latest science on reversing insulin resistance naturally. I hope this video has empowered you to take control of your health and make lasting changes. Remember, knowledge is power, but it's action that creates transformation. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Implement what you've learned. Make those small, sustainable changes that add up to big results over time. You've got this. And remember, I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you want us to grow and bring you more science-based content like this, support us by following @TheLifeLens360 on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.